Hello and welcome. Welcome to Digital Art. I'm your instructor, Jackie, and I teach over at Porterville College, and you guys are taking a college class. So I don't want you to be afraid of that. It's actually really cool, and this is a really fun class. So I want you to feel like, even though you're over in Monache, I am accessible to you. So I want you to make sure that you can feel like you can email me. If we need to do a Zoom call or something, or I might come over there. I don't know. It just depends on like teaching schedules and how things kind of go. This is kind of a new thing here. Me teaching an online class to students that are in the same town. But anyway, I am local, and my name is Jackie, and I'm thrilled to be with you here this semester. I am a digital artist. I have been for, geez, how old am I? Oh, let's not date me, but let's just say that since the internet came out, I fell in love with it. And I was just like you. I was in high school. Well, actually, I started going to community college in high school. I dropped out of high school. They let me go to college then. I had to take a GED, but and then I transferred and I went to UCSD. I'm from LA, and I went down this journey that I want hopefully to inspire you to experience. There's a lot of really good jobs in digital art. I know a lot of your class and folks, everyone's really into animation and video games, but the genesis of all of that is digital art. So you kind of have to start at the digital art level, figure out where you want to do. If you really love drawing and you want to go into animation, then that starts you into that path. And then if you love video games, then you would do more software design stuff and things like that. And that's user experience design, which is another layer of digital art. I also teach that. So anyway, I don't want to overwhelm you, but I have a lot of great experience in life to share with you and to kind of help you on this journey of self-discovery, you figuring out who you are, whether you like certain art or you don't, or whether you'd rather be, making a bowl in ceramics, or you'd rather be making something on your iPad or your phone or whatever digital tool is available. The tools are changing, but the creativity in your brain is always there. So I'm here to kind of tap creativity, get you excited about stuff. This is going to be a really fun class. So this is the welcome video, and I'm going to, each week I will post a new video, probably Sundays. And so you'll have it for the week, for the school, or for each week. I think we're in 16 weeks for the semester. So each week, look for a video from me, and I will just kind of discuss things with you and show you what you need to do. And so that's what we're doing here today. I want to go over the syllabus and explain to you how this class is going to work. I know you're in a lab with a proctor, and I'm hopefully going to come and visit you guys so then we can put a face to the name and answer any questions. And just kind of see how things flow. So what's going on here? So if you want to meet with me, I am available by appointments and virtual appointments. We can do a quick chat. I know you guys don't like these good old phones, but I love a phone call too. I love a quick question. I love all of that stuff. So, and then, if you happen to be at Porterville College, you can come and see me anytime in my office hours. But we can work out with your time and my time to figure out if you have questions. I want you to feel like I'm available to you, because I am, and I'm not far away. So So basically, this class, Intro to Digital Art, it focuses on using Adobe Photoshop. And a lot of you may or may not know what this program is and what it does, but by the end of this course, you will. And you'll understand a lot because what we do is we fuse traditional artistic concepts into the new ideas, right? Like do you think a meme existed when I was going to college? No. Memes have come up out of the digital tools, right? And now we love Instagram and the memes. Instagram wasn't invented until 2010. I was already working in Silicon Valley. Should have worked there. But I've got great stories. I've worked at startups. I worked at Stanford University. And then I decided I wanted to teach the next generation because it was a lot of the good old boys club in tech, and I wanted more women. So that's kind of been my passion and journey and why I'm here talking to you today. So anyway, okay, so here are some of your learning outcomes. These are things that you need to, like, by the end of the class, you should be able to define and effectively work with raster-based artwork. That's actually what we're going to be talking about today. What is a raster file? For both screen and print. Photoshop used to be predominantly the program for printing, and Illustrator too. And now it's the digital tool, right? Because we don't print things anymore. So it's just kind of evolved and changed. And so that's exactly what technology does. It evolves and changes. I guarantee you in 5 years, everything's going to be different. Just like 5 years ago, it was different. And 10 years ago, we didn't even have these. Well, 2007, I think these came out, smartphones, but nobody really got them until like 2010. So that was 15 years ago. So, this is all really new stuff, and you have the ability to kind of mold and shape and go into and grow into these new, types of work, right? So you could go be a video game artist. You could go be an animator. You could go do all the things that you love if you do love those things. Or you could make, magazine covers. You can, there's just a whole vast array of work that kind of goes along, and career paths. I know you're in high school and they're all about these pathways and career paths, and you can go be a bank teller, you can go be a dental hygienist. Well, you can also use your creativity, and there's a lot of ways to do that. And I want to explore that with you this semester, and also just hopefully you tap into your creativity and you make some funny things that you can share and put on your Instagram. Show your parents. So anyway, okay, so we're gonna work with raster-based artwork. We're gonna correct and enhance existing photographs. And then we're gonna create original artwork and compositions. So each week you'll have an assignment. Sometimes I'll give you 2 weeks to do it. Just depends on what the assignment is. And then we're gonna critique artwork and express design concepts. So right now, I think we're gonna do it on discussion. And then if it kind of comes out that you guys want to have a real critique in class, I can always try to come there and we could have a day where we look at each other's artwork and talk about what works and what doesn't work. Critique is a big deal even in making software, even in making any digital thing, any animation, any film, any of that. You need to be critiqued. You need to figure out how to give feedback in a positive way, but also give folks good feedback, good critique, and, critical, being critical, but not being mean. Like, we're going to talk about all of that. That's what critique is. So we're going to learn all of those are some of the outcomes that by the end of this semester, you will understand more. And then some of the objectives of the class is, you're going to perform appropriate document setup and select proper file formats. You're going to understand what the difference is: a JPEG to a TIFF to a PNG to there's HTML. There's so many different file formats, and understanding that will help you navigate even making better memes. There's so many reasons why you should understand digital art, because you basically live with these, and the better you are at these, the better you will understand how technology works, which is how you can make a lot of money. Believe it or not, there's a lot of money in tech. That's why I moved to San Francisco after I graduated. And a lot of my friends are millionaires. So I didn't hit that jackpot, but it's okay. I'm happy. But there are things like that to consider when you're thinking about yourself, where you fit in the world, how you can make a living, things like that. And also have fun and be creative. Those are two things that are hard to do sometimes. So anyway, we're also going to consider and utilize the appropriate tools to accomplish these tasks. So selecting different tools from the toolbar, painting and drawing digitally, recreating history or photo retouching, erasing, filtering effects, cropping, and using lighting effects. We're going to play with all of that stuff. We're going to create photo collages using layering techniques. We're going to understand what a layer mask is, layer effects and blending modes, how to blend different things. We're going to devise an informed color scheme. You're going to understand color theory, what colors go together and why, and if it's better used on a phone or a screen or a TV. Is it better on a video game console? Is it better on, this format, which is a vertical format? So there's a lot to think about when you are creating artwork in the digital sphere. And it's all in different, one's made for an iPad, maybe one's made for this. So, and that they need designers to design all of that. You're going to assemble source material through scanning photographs. Well, I don't know what we're going to scan, but you're definitely going to use your phone and take photos because that's where you're going to come up with a lot of stuff. And you can steal stuff on the internet, but, it's kind of hard these days. They've made it very hard. Luckily, I can speak code, and so I can understand how to steal things. That was kind of like a big thing in my era. Like when I was in college, Napster came out. So that was a long time ago, but that's a rabbit hole we'll go into. Anyway, I love to talk. You'll understand that about me. Where else are we? Okay, so we're going to organize Photoshop tools, panels, and use the navigator. We're going to evaluate, understand, and select appropriate typography. What is typography? It is the fonts that you choose. Why do you choose those fonts? Why is Impact font like the typical meme font, right? Why is that font? Why do we hate Comic Sans? All of these questions will be answered in this class. And then you're going to critique artwork. We're going to express design concepts. We're going to learn a little bit about the principles of design, what to look for, what looks good on what screen and how, and color theory. And also like accessibility. We're going to figure out, people that are colorblind, you want to use certain colors on screens, right? Very darker or very contrast colors, not complementary colors. So things like that. And then we're going to, hopefully by the end of this class, you'll have a portfolio of work. And I do teach a digital portfolio class. So maybe by the time you are done with high school, you can take my digital portfolio class and you'll graduate with a portfolio of work and you'll be able to get a job. Woohoo! That would be the dream, right? Or you just hang out in your parents' basement and play video games, but at least you understand how they work. Anyway, okay, so grading mostly projects and assignments. Like I think this week I have like one small little short essay thing because I want to make sure you can get on Photoshop first. I don't know what it's going to be like at Monache, so here at Porterville, it usually takes like a week for all my students to get in the license queue. So I will find out through osmosis, and also you can drop me a line. I was just going to create, so the equipment, you'll be using a reliable computer with Photoshop files and a camera or phone. That's the equipment we need for school, or for this class. And then this is your assignments and schedules. This week is introductions. There's a short lecture. And what I mean by lecture is it's like a self-paced lecture. So I have everything kind of put together online. But this is the schedule. I think we have 5 or 6, 7. I don't know. We have avatars, your first assignment. But it's not due until week 3. So you have lots of time to work on your avatar. What is an avatar? You all know what an avatar is. But can you make your own? Don't just go rip off one from a video game. Make your own avatar. Who are you? Create your own identity. Don't just, go, find your favorite character and pretend to be that. Make your own character. In that vein, you could use that character, but then do a version for yourself. Things like that. But we're going to be doing collage. Then we're going to do portraits. And then we're going to do a music poster and animated GIFs. We're going to animate the music posters. And then we're going to have a mythical creature. And then we're going to play with AI. This is not the class to be anti-AI. I am pro-AI 100%. And the sooner you get good at AI, the better designer you can be. So I want us to kind of understand it, see where it's not working, see where it is working. It's a brand new tool. It just was debuted a few years ago in Photoshop. And Photoshop is old, man. It's way older than me. I think it came out in the 80s. So it's a very legacy program that does a lot, and it's a really good tool to know and have in your back pocket, even if you don't master it. And sometimes I've been working in Photoshop for 25 years, and I still feel like I don't master it sometimes because things move and they change things and they rename things and blah, 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 blah. So, but understanding these core concepts and how to do a few different, layerings and playing with collage and understanding how to bring parts of photos in and creating your own compositions, that's what we're really going to focus on. And then the tools. So that's pretty much the sketch. I want to go over so each week, like right now, you should be able to see in your Canvas shell. Hopefully you can get to Canvas. I didn't see you guys in here. You're not in my Canvas. I only have one person in my Canvas shell. So there's something already like boop-a-doo that we probably need to figure out this week. But I always I put your latest stuff, like right now we're in week 1 and it's the welcome module. So I want you to go through every single thing. And this is what you do in the class time that since I'm not there, this is what you're going to do. You're going to look at everything in each week, right? And I've actually posted week 1 and week 2 just in case some of you can get into Photoshop and some of you can't, or some of you want to jump ahead and you already know Photoshop and some don't. So anyway, so we just went over the course syllabus. That's in this week. This is a little bit about me. You're seeing me now. This is who I am. I have my own web design company. I have had UX. We call it UX now, user experience design. Because it's no longer web. We're creating designs for everything now. We're creating designs for neural pathways, for AR, for VR, for phones, for tablets, for TVs. And each one of those is a specific set of design parameters that we're kind of going to learn, and design systems, which you would go deeper into my UX class, which I'm just starting a whole new program at Porterville College to create a certificate so you can get a job remotely and make good money. UX designers make a lot of money. And so do graphic designers and digital artists. Just depends on where and how good you are and how much, you want to pursue this. So anyway, this is me. Here's my email. If you need me, this is how you email me. My office hours, I would say, are, for this class, since it's online, it's virtual. So if you want to have a quick meet, let me know. Okay, so we're getting on to Photoshop. Now, I don't know if this is going to pertain to you since you are in Monache and I am in Porterville College. So if this doesn't work for you, and this was last year's spring, I need to update it. I need to get the new stuff. Then drop me a line or let the proctor know that we're having issues with Adobe. It's usually a clunky thing to get into, but once we get going, we get going. So if you're already in Photoshop and you're ready to rock and roll and you're doing it, this is what I want you to do. So this week, we're going to get familiar. So this is a step-by-step. You would just go through these modules, read all the stuff. We reviewed the syllabus. Here's your to-do list. Then you would go into figuring out the Adobe license. And then if you already have done that, I have your tutorial here. First, I want you to go through the lecture. So this lecture, it's self-paced. It's explaining to you what is the difference between a rastered image and a vector image. They're two different things. And so by going through this, reading some of these from Adobe, and understanding what resolution is, I then want you to go through this week's information on how to print or what resolutions are, understanding that. And then your assignment is to just answer these few questions and give it to me and just submit it. just answer these questions. We're not doing graphics yet because I'm waiting to let you all get going, right? And so so this is your first assignment. What is a pixel? And rephrase it. I know you're going to just type into Google, what is a pixel? But then rephrase it for me and tell me again, because it's all about repetition is learning, right? So even if you see the definition, I want you to type it yourself and go, this is what a raster image is, blah, 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 right? And just give it to me. Short, 5 sentences is all I want. I don't want a whole essay. This is an art class, and it's a studio art class. Let me rephrase that. It is an art class where you won't have any quizzes and no, nothing, no heavy papers or anything. It's all art project based. Okay. So this is the only time I'm asking for a written piece, because I want you to have time to kind of think about it. And also we need some time to maybe get everybody on Photoshop. So, but if that's already passed and you've already done this assignment because you just are a rock star, then I've already let week 2 out of the gate. And so your assignment for week 2 is to create an avatar. Okay? And I don't want a PSD because I can't download those files. So when you submit files to me, make sure they are a PNG or a JPEG, because it won't open the files and it crashes my computer to download them, because sometimes the file sizes of PSDs are huge. So if you want to just jump on board, what is an avatar? Here we go. How do you size an avatar? Here we go. I've got all of the information for you. And what to do and what not to do with avatars. And then you could just go down a whole rabbit hole of avatars, which will be fun. And so I will go more into week 2, but I just wanted to kind of, a lot of times when I teach this class, I've been teaching this class since I became a professor, which is when I got my graduate degree, which is in 2014 in San Francisco. And I have found that some folks everybody's at a different pace in this class, which is why if you want more work, I've got more work for you. Don't you worry. But if you just are behind and it's very difficult for you to understand Photoshop, I've got you too. Okay? So I am not in the business of trying to fail you or make you not feel creative. My job here is to let you have fun and experience a new software program that you could potentially get a job with. So there is a need for this. And you'll see. I mean, you should know this already because you live in the digital world, in the digital sphere, So, and how do you make a living from that, right? And so that's a lot of things to think about. But right now, we're just going to think about checking out this reading, understanding images, the different types of images, the different types of file formats, why we use certain file formats. PNGs work better on a phone. Why? All of these things. Why? So if you want to write more than 5 sentences, give me that essay. And don't just give it to me from ChatGPT. I want you to actually write it or rewrite it from chat or whatever if you use chat. So go through this lecture and submit your assignment for week 1. And that's pretty much all I've got this week. Oh, I know what I'm going to do. And I'm going to do it right now. So I want to add a discussion because I want to know about you. Say hello. Say hello. Let me know who you are and what you're interested in. And then you could post if you have digital art that you've already started or something, because you are a digital artist and this is just going to enhance your creativity. I would love to see some of your work. So say, hey, my name is so-and-so and I love to make memes for fun, or I have a video channel, or I have this, I have that. This is also the beginning point. Digital art is the beginning point of also digital art or video art as well, in terms of understanding how all of these things work. Yes, video is a different format and a different theory, and we also have a lot of video classes. We also have a brand new green screen at our campus. But understanding how file sizes work is all related, and especially with video, because video is its own thing on the internet. Anyway, so I just published Say Hello. I want you to say hello and let me know who you are and what you're interested in. Are you just taking this because you want an A? Let me know. Okay, cool. I hope that that's not too overwhelming and you guys are excited. I mean, it's hard to get excited to start when you start the school year, but this class is going to be fun. I promise you. That is the whole point, is for you to have fun, discover yourself, and learn about art. Okay? All right, well, I'm Jackie. Remember that. And if you need me, you can email me. And I hope we have a great, well, I know we're going to have a great semester, but I hope you have a great semester. Okay, talk to you soon. See you next week. Bye.